Welcome to Rico 12. I'm Justin B., your host and a child of an all-powerful and perfectly loving God and an addict living in the miracle of recovery one day at a time. Rico 12 is an open to all addictions and afflictions organization dedicated to exploring the common threads of the differing manifestations of alcoholism, sharing tools, and offering hope from those walking a similar path. So whether your thing is alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, food, whatever, you are home here. We gather from diverse backgrounds, faiths, and locations to learn from and support one another. Our speakers come from various fellowships and experiences, demonstrating the universal principles of recovery. And Rico 12 is not allied or affiliated with any specific 12-step fellowship. This is Rico 12 speaker meeting number 434. Thank you for joining us live or on the recording later. Today's speaker is Liza L., a repeat speaker and a former guest host for us here. So grateful for all the work that she's done for the Rico 12 community. She'll be speaking on a topic she has entitled, The Less I Know. I look forward to diving into this conversation here in a few minutes. But first, a few quick announcements. Rico 12 does offer a variety of recovery resources, including other podcasts, social media communities. If you'd like to explore more, you can visit rico12.com or check out the chat and the show notes for links. I'm going to put rico12.com in the chat here. We are always looking for speakers to share on Rico 12, and I'll give you a little bit more information on that here in a minute. We're continuing to fill those speakers. So if your higher power is moving on you saying, hey, I want to speak, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you and get that lined up. Rico 12 is self-supporting, and your contributions help us continue this message. For information on how to do that, I'll put information in the chat and the show notes of the podcast. Thank you this last week to Katharina and Courtney for your amazing contributions. Any support, both financially and by word of mouth, truly makes a difference in helping us share these messages of hope and recovery. Now, I've got a big announcement, everybody. Rico 12 has been, for almost 6 years. Since June 19th of 2020, Rico 12 has met faithfully on Fridays at the same time each week. And God has used that time to bless thousands of lives, both live and in recording. But seasons change. And sometimes God opens a door we didn't even know was there. So because of some exciting and adventurous changes in my own life, Rico 12 is moving to a new weekly rhythm starting next Saturday, May 16th. We'll gather every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. UK time, and whatever time that is, wherever you are. We gather then every Saturday at that time moving forward. The meeting itself, the spirit, the honesty, the surrender, the hope, it all stays the same. Only the day and time shift. The hope and vision is that this change opens the door for a whole new wave of listeners and speakers who couldn't have joined us on the weekdays. And so please help us spread the word in your recovery circles. And I look forward to seeing you and many more next Saturday. Like I said, May 16th at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. All right. Each week, we receive light and inspiration from our speakers. Their experience brings hope, meaning, worth, and growth to us as listeners. Now I'm going to welcome today's guest speaker, Liza L. Here's a little bit about her before I turn the floor over to her. Liza Love lives in an intimate, ongoing relationship with the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the infinite power and love described through it. Today, she shares how simple has become for her, and what it's like to live from that guts and bones, soul belly knowing in each and every verb of this lifetime adventure we get to have. She's found she really can believe our book and rely utterly and completely on God in all things. All really does mean all. Take it away, Liza. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Justin. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Even if you're listening and weren't here live, it matters that you're here. So thank you. Your service and presence is welcome and so valuable and needed. I want to take just a minute because I love this family, the Rico 12 family. I realized this week I had the most beautiful opportunity to reflect with Justin on what it meant to me to find Rico 12 and everybody that's affiliated with this place that now is part of my soul family. And it means so much to me. I got to wake up. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I got to wake up and experience the awakening that I live today because of recorded shares. The people that literally sponsored me into this way of life were dead when they did it. That's how awesome this power is. When we seek, we always find. And the answer is always there. And it's never in the out there that I thought it was, right? So this family and finding it and the people that are a part of making it work the way it does, including you as its wonderful creator and co-creator with God, Justin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I will say again, because it matters to me, if you're in any of the spaces that listen to any of these shares at all, if you refer people to Rico 12 like I do quite faithfully, please, please, please let your contribution to rico12.com/support become part of your seventh, because it matters and it goes a long way. So that out of the way, what does it mean, like, the less I know, right? Like, in my head, right? If you've listened to me before, by the way, go to rico12.com and like literally check out the podcast. There is a line by line through the big book that is phenomenal with our David G, our Justin B, and our Nikki M. There is Nikki's Noodle and all kinds of Nikki Noodle stuff. There are separate things that Justin, like, there's so much there. There's so much there. And you can also go to these meetings for Friday and type into a search and just put in a thing that's your thing for the moment. And I guarantee you something amazing will come up, right? Like, if you've heard me at all ever, you know that Big Bruculette is one of my jams. And you can do that with these podcasts too. I assure you, when you seek, you too will always find. And I guarantee you, message me. I will welcome those messages any day, and tell me what you got from that kind of Big Bruculette applied to the podcast the same way. Because I promise you it works. It just does. If we subscribe to anything, it can be the belief that our book is true and that it can be simple because it tells me so, which is why all gets to mean all. And the simple part, man, I've been camping out on 14 a lot. I love Bill's story anyway. But one of the things that's really beautiful there is 2 sentences, a paragraph of 2 sentences. And the less you know has been kind of the theme for a while for me. If you know me at all, and even if you don't, like, hi, you can tell I probably speak quickly for you. And if not, like, yay, oh my God, thank you. Because, like, I really do not think that I speak quickly, but I understand from other people's interpretation of me that apparently I do. So I am literally trusting, relying on that power to let this speed be the speed that you need. But thank God there is also that little settings button, and you can either slow it down or speed it up if you're really bored or overwhelmed with me right now. The reality is, the more that I know in this way of life, the more I realize, like, I don't know shit. Like, I don't know anything, the less I know, right? And that is my happy place. Like, who knew? Literally, my husband would tell you that when we met, one of the things I taught him that he loved was knowledge is power, man. Find out all you can, and then you'll have information that is useful, and you can know everything and be prepared for everything. And of course, that is not accurate. But it felt really great, and I needed to know everything about everything to feel like I was safe and could prepare for what was coming, right? So I always sought knowledge and to know everything about everything and to have every little detail of things. And now in this life, I'm like, dude, I went from being the person in my literal childhood, like this big, telling everybody, you're not the boss of me, to now where I'm like, I know let me as my boss, because I make no decisions from a place of not consulting with that power that is the everything that I live from, right? If my page 53 choice, which again, I like stuff simple, it's a choice I get to make. Page 53 tells me that. God is everything or God is nothing. What's my choice? I'm like, let me think about it a second. Like, not hard at all. It will always be the not me of me and God together, right? Like 100%. That's the only way to go. I either have the choice of living in the state of the insanity of what my alcoholism will do for me, which is kill me to keep me safe, or rely on that power. And then here's the trick. If you heard that and you thought, I don't know how to do that, that's okay. Because I don't even have to really rely on it. I just have to be willing to rely on it. Yes, simple. That's what not knowing does for me. It reminds me that the practice of this lifetime, where I will forever be a finite, messy human that can never nail it and get it right, ever, all the time, every day, all day, every day. I get to continue to practice this because I can't be anything more than that. When I get to think about my powerlessness, one of the other things about me, there is like literally probably, I would say, almost no room that I would not qualify for in all the alphabet soup of rooms. Literally, I remember one time, I say literally a lot today, I remember telling Justin in the beginning, like, okay, here's my stuff of rooms. And it was like 12 pages of an intro. It was like, oh my God, I think it's still on there. But like, it was so exhausting. And I pasted it like a joke when I sent it to him. And he literally posted it anyway. And I said literally again, that's funny. But like, oh my God, right? And I was like, but it's true because I weighed almost 400 pounds. You don't get that way unless there's a problem, right? I absolutely am an Al-Anon, as much as an alcoholic, as much as everything there is to be that will get me out of the state of what I am dealing with by not dealing with it in here, inside of me, that's so uncomfortable I can't stand it, or me, or you, that I got to look out there for something to make it feel better or distract me enough so that I'm not facing that. I'll pick up anything. I don't care what it is. And it will absolutely be too far and too much. I don't care. Because in that state, there's no relief that's enough. That is not about the substance. My book taught me that, as well as my experience. Because here's the gift of God saying, great, I'll take that from you too. Okay, that too. Okay, that too. And when there's no substance left, I'm still miserable. What is happening? Oh, because it's not about the substance. What I think I know. That's my substance. Who I think I am, that's my substance. Everything that is this meat suit adventure by way of thoughts and feelings, emotions, and this physical sensory system. Dude, this body stuff has a lot to tell me, and I can really get consumed with what it has to say. And none of it means anything. Because guess what? Spoiler alert. Trigger alert, whatever, I don't care. Life is absolutely going to be lifey, and we're all born to die. Like literally everybody comes here signed up for this finite adventure, whatever that looks like. So the second that I get freaked out about, oh, I'm gonna die, like I'm already in a place of playing God somehow, because that's unacceptable to me. Yeah, there's nobody that's gonna escape that one, Lies. Everybody is seriously just here for their span of time. I mean, you could go maybe to like 100, 120, like, I don't know, there could be, but like for real, like nobody's gonna go away a lot longer than that. The old Bible-y days of like, hundreds and thousands, like that doesn't happen. And if it does, we don't know about it because, maybe it's vampires. I don't know, whatever. But like legit, it's all secret anyway. And I don't know that because what I know will kill me. I don't care what I know. I don't care what I know in this mind because here we go. Here's the key. I figured it out. By which I mean, I finally stopped trying to figure it out. I can't figure it out. I can't. In the same mind where all of this lives, the insanity, if yours is like mine at all, in any given moment, it's like crazy town in there. There are thousands of things happening at the same time, most of which make no freaking sense, but I will find one that I can absolutely get into a mental jujitsu pretzel about and totally focus on it and make it make sense. Like whiskey in the milk, anybody? Like for real. That's me in here, in this mind, in this brain, in all of these things that seem so convincing, seemingly convincing. And I will pick up a thought or a feeling or a sensation or whatever it is that's that moment and think it matters more than anything else somehow, and absolutely run with it to my death. Here's the truth about the ABCs. The only ones I really care about are not in a room. You can be in any room. This book works for everyone. My book says all, I believe it. And I've experienced that part of it for sure, at least in my limited experience and understanding. I would love to encounter you. If you haven't, let's do it together and put it to the test with an experiment. But the reality is, if I believe my book, and I develop and build and increase that relationship with that power that is the real me. Oh, that was the key. I'm not the me I think I am. I'm not the me my body experiences and tells me what is happening in this finite meat suit stuff. I'm not my emotions, catacomb recipes of whatever. Who cares? It's a response. I am the me in here that can experience all of these things from an observational perspective because I'm connected to that power. That is the real me. That deep, like, how you used to when you were a kid, you would say, like, I hate your guts. Like, that's some real cool stuff because it's science. From that place in our bodies, like, that's where that version of, like, that's where that lives, right? And so from that, I call it the guts and bones, soul belly knowing. That's the only know I give a crap about. That is the only knowing that matters. That is literally where I live from. And when Justin came in and was saying that part about the verbs, man, I get to look at my book in a whole new way now too, because every verb, like go figure English class, is an action. You know what one of my favorite adverbs is, by the way? Unabashedly. Yes, because that is how I get to live this life. Only this way, through that power that gives me all that power, that is infinite power and love. Infinite, man. Here's the difference. Finite Liza can come up with a lot of stuff, but there's a reason that her imagination is fired. My book tells me that's true. And I'm so grateful because everything on my best day that I could come up with that was going to be the, oh my God, this is so great, awesome life, had I gotten it, would be nowhere near what I get to live and experience today. And when I say that and get emotional and share with you how important that is, and oh my God, how limited and finite that was on my best day. Are you kidding me? I laugh with the people that I get to work with. You have a joke about Tuesdays before noon with me, because I swear to you, honest to goodness, if I gave you my everyday calendar and schedule of a day, what I pack into for God, through God, thank God, on your average Tuesday before noon is somebody else's month's worth of stuff. And that's my average Tuesday. Literally, which is apparently the word of the day. Thank you. Bing. I feel like you have one of those things. So the more you know, the less you know. When I think about the more you know, in my head, it's like the more you know, right? Like the NBC whatever thing, and like there's a little star like above my head and all talk later. But realistically, the less I know, the more free I am. And then it becomes how simple is my simple. And here we go with the big one, because I'm a greedy girl and I like it all. I want all the things. I want my page 60 ABCs. That's the only ones I care about. If I can buy into that and subscribe to that and just give the sliver of willingness so that God can reach me through that, because I'm seeking desperately, even if my brain doesn't remember that. But if my answer is always to keep it simple and live in the freedom and not just the sober, now we get crazy simple. And now it really is like, holy crap. How is it? I feel like I got cheat codes, you guys, because everything is in our book. It really is. And it's so freaking simple. Right there, it says the price had to be paid. But right after, 2 sentences, right after that, it says, what is the price? Here we go. You ready? The destruction of self-centeredness. Now, there are all kinds of amazing ideas about what that could mean for you. I don't know what that is. That's yours, man. You take that to your power and have that conversation, or call me and I'll help you find it too. That's what we get to do here. But the truth is, the answer is always as simple as, I don't know, ask God. I don't know, look in the book. Like, that's what it will always be. Thank you, Don P., for the rest of my life. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. If you work in the Big Book sponsorship and use the workbook, I want to tell you, page 18 is all you need for a whole bunch of stuff, because it makes things really super simple. And what it does is it distills some stuff from what we call column 4 from our inventory. And it shows you what it looks like when self, like the book says, manifested in various ways. Like, hi, we can come up with a lot of ways because we are creative, right? Self is going to self, whatever that looks like, all of those things that are that column for life, where I'm literally dying in the insanity of my alcoholism and don't care. And you can bill me for it, because I don't care about the price that will cost at all, because I'm never going to pay it. I want what I want when I want it, how I want it. Forget you. Or what that gets to be called column 5, which is that version of existence. And if you're watching, this is so funny, because if you worked with me, you know I do this every time. The word turn. I'm like that video with the dog when they play the turn song and the dog literally turns around, like turn around. Like in my head, every time when I say turn, I literally still, to this day, when I say that word, will physically turn, because it's toward column 5. And that's the instruction we have right after that. I must turn in all things. That's an all. My book says all. That means all. So I must turn in all things. Wait a minute. But what if it's not column 4? Who cares? What's the answer? Turn. Okay. Is it that simple? Yes. What? Cheat codes, you guys. I must turn in all things to the Father of light, who presides over us all. I got onto this week, and I posted in the Rico chat, just because I like to look stuff up sometimes. That was fun. And one of the things about presides was what it looks like in a definition. And it's like what you would think it is, right? Like the judge presides over the courtroom and, whatever, presides, but in the most beautiful way. And I was like, Father of light. Of course, who doesn't love that description? Because that's guy, God, guy. I don't have anything in common with that. Like, that stuff is not my jam at all. Like, nope. Ask me if I know what God is. No, I don't. But you know what God is for me? Column 5 on page 18 in the workbook that I was talking about. And every attribute of what those things are. All the verbs I get to live in this way of life. Yes, that's how simple it gets to be. So it's either that, as the verbs I get to live, right? I'm literally opening my book right now. Literally again. Thank you, God. So here we go. I can have, take a guess, false pride, arrogance, or self-loathing. Probably not God. Or humility. God, column 5. I can have envy or coveting. Why do they have so much more than me? And also, how come I'm doing all this work and nothing is happening how I wanted to? I'm giving everything and it's never enough for anybody. Any codependents here like me? Oh my God, yes. I'm doing everything for them and they never care. What's over there? Contentment and gratitude, but not a gratitude list kind of gratitude. Gratitude as a verb that I live, right? Through that power, like, oh my God, cheat codes. Once I got to wake up and see this stuff, dishonesty, stealing, lying, exaggeration, probably not a God thing. Honesty, integrity, restitution. Are you kidding me? I am not expected, by the way. If you heard that word restitution, we're like, oh my God, I'm never going to pay all the bills. I'm not going to make it right. Like, I don't have a job. Hi, me either. Doesn't matter. Take the call, pay the bill, because it works out. Why? Because it's not me. Oh my God, is it that? Yes, it is. It is. Here's the other thing that can really mess me up. And I have to remember the less I know, which thank God with a lot of practice, I get to keep practicing and learn it over and over and over and over again every day. And that is the key. Because this is not a one and done. I'm not kidding. If you're here and better already, you'll get it. But I literally, for a long time in a ton of different rooms, I love literally today. was hearing people talk about the steps like, yeah, and then I did this one, but it was like referring to it like, yeah, and when I did my step 4 back in like 1987, and I'm like, whoa, like that's so cool, and you have so many years. I didn't understand. Like, hi, this is an all day, everyday thing. 10 is like a baby, 10 is like a baby 4. So like we live in some version of constant, right? Like my brain, if you're like me at all, you and me both, right? Like, oh my God, all day, every day, this thing will just be like random stuff, and I'll pick it up. And then I'm out there in Crazy Town wondering, why am I in Crazy Town? Oh, wait, I don't have to know why. The less I know. What's the answer always? Turn, turn, turn. Like, what? Oh, so simple. Now, here's the thing. This is one of those like, tell me yourself without tell me yourself kind of moments. You ready? I don't want to have to turn. Why do I have to ask God for everything? Like, legit, I was dying 10 seconds ago, and now I'm like complaining that I have a way to wake up and live because I have to ask the Father of light that presides over me and is the creator and holds my hand and loves me, and the verb that love really is, that isn't the judgy sky god thing, but a real relationship I get to have with that power. Oh, thank you, God. Oh my God, this stuff is so simple. What am I doing to make it so hard? I keep trying and trying and trying, and it's not working, and I'm so tired. Wait a minute, my book tells me that when that happens, that's another indicator. Oh my God, this sensory system stuff is real. It's telling me my mind, my brain, my heart, my thoughts, my feelings, my physical body, and all that it's telling me, every single one of those things. It's just another way that God is reaching for me because I begged him to. I begged him to. I begged him to. I begged him to. From when I didn't even have words, I was so little begging him to. And I get to look back and see him carrying me all the way through that to today when I still beg him to. And every time I let go of whatever it is that I think I know and tap into the guts and bones, soul belly knowing of what I know. Do you know that this is that, right? When we read things like, what is the story about somebody asking a man, like, is that your child? And he's like, I think so. Because like, he didn't have it. He doesn't know. But what happens to the mom that actually had the baby? I know so. What do you know in that level of knowing? It's guts and bones, soul belly knowing. That's where I get to live from. When you know anything from there, you don't need to know anything else. I have everything I need and could ever want. And it's so much greater and crazier and, mind-blowingly wonderful and profound than I ever imagined possible. And have a freaking awesome imagination because that's how much I am loved. And so are you. That circle and triangle, I talk about it a lot because I love it so much. That symbol from early AA, I carry it so much because the reminder of everything that is my page 53, everything, you get your own, is the circle of that circle and triangle. And it's the oneness of all of us. Because here's what happens when I get to show up as God's agent, because I choose on page 53 and I pay page 14's price. And I tap into that power and I live the verb of living through the power of love and all that it is for me. Oh my gosh, now you're God's agent. You might even be undercover and don't even know it yet. But all means all and every means every. And that means you too. That means truly, in any given moment when I remind myself from that connected existence of the real me that lives and knows everything it needs to know, which is nothing. Except that God is everything. Everything I do from self is the best I could ever do. And it's not because I'm a piece of crap. And my powerless doesn't mean I'm an ass. Although I behave like an ass a lot from there. It just means I'm a finite, limited human. And my best will never, ever play God better than God could be God. Ta-da!
Got questions about addiction, recovery, or just life in general? Let's noodle it out together. Grab your big book, a pen, a highlighter, and a notepad, and join Nikki M. and me, Justin B., on Rico 12 Noodle It Out with Nikki M. Each episode, we take real-life questions, ours, yours, and those from the recovery community, and dig deep into the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous to find real, practical solutions. So, if you're ready to do the work and apply the solution, tune in to Noodle It Out with Nikki M, streaming now on your favorite podcast platform.
seconds later, I promise you, I'll have another bing thought that will absolutely pull me out of that connectedness, and I'll be right back on the roller coaster crazy town. And I get to get redirected back again and again because that power that is the verb of all the verbs I get to live. After step 5, there's this beautiful passage that says returning home. And I remember reading that one day and sobbing. Oh my God, sobbing. Because all my life, I'm 53. All my life, I never had a home. My abuse as a kid started like I wasn't even born yet, probably before I was even conceived at the moment. Who knows, right? It was everywhere, whatever. There was no space of life that knew a home. And so I thought someday I'm going to find that person and have a home. But until then, I have a house or an apartment or wherever I live. But I'm not calling any place a home until I have that real home. So one day when I'm reading that beautiful passage after doing step work and wrapping up before and doing step 5, I read just the words returning home and was sobbing because I was like, oh, this is a guts and bones thing. This is a God thing. I get to return home. I wanted a home so desperately, and I kept thinking it was going to be in somebody or something out there, some place that nobody could ever evict me from or take me out of. And I have it already. When you hear people say things like nothing is missing from this or any moment ever, it's because they have that home too. Doesn't matter what's happening in this moment or what the world and its people could tell me about what that means or anything I think I know. What's real and true, and the only way I can ever really know anything is from the real me that's at home with God, following the instructions just like they're laid out, so freaking simple. In this magic book that is literally the answer to every question I could ever ask. If it's not between me and my God and in the pages of this book, it doesn't matter, I promise you. I feel like sitting at one of those tables where they have the, prove me wrong or whatever kind of things. And I'm like, but I don't have any fight in me anymore because I'm just going to love you anyway. We get to live this. If you don't feel that way, please reach out to somebody here that does, or ask for help, or ask God, and you'll find him no matter where you are and who's around you, because God's agents are all of us, whether we know it or not. Are you seeking? Because I promise you, my book says when we do, we find, and my experience makes that true. And if it can work for me, because good God, then it definitely can work for you. I love you so, so, so much. Thank you for knowing less with me today and letting me live this miracle of a life.
Liza, thank you so much, and I love that gratitude there at the end. Thank you for knowing less with me today. I love that. I've written down a lot of questions here, and I'd love to get to those. If any of you in the live audience have questions for Liza, please type them in the chat. If you would like me to keep you anonymous and don't want your first name read when I read your question, just say anonymous, please, or put it in direct message it to me. We'll get to your questions as they come along. First one I want to get to, Liza, it was shared probably about, 6 or 7 minutes ago in your share, but you said something about the economy of God. You said, take the call, pay the bill, it'll work out. Do you have an experience in your own recovery in life where something similar like that happened that you're willing to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Like so many, right? The more we do it, it's really funny. I remember hearing, I think it was Mark Houston, I'm pretty sure, talking about, I'm the same me everywhere I go, right? And I remember hearing that the first time and I was like, that's not possible. Like, I got to be a different me every place. I got to remember who I owe what to where, who I did what to, what lie I said here, who I chameleon myself to be so they would love me, but it still didn't work. Like all the things, right? I was managing all of this and trying to still navigate life and like, surprise, it doesn't work and it isn't working. And so anytime, like one of the things that we get to look at in the way that I get to use the sponsorship workbook is beautiful. We have a log and loser list on page 5 in there. And it's really beautiful to see that. Cameron likes to refer to it as a loser list, like, oh, you lost this. I look at it like a price sheet, right? It's a cost list. I absolutely threw all of that away. I didn't care how much it was going to cost me because I was never going to pay that bill. You can follow me and chase me. You can't get something from a stone that has nothing to give you. Come after me, try to get it. I got nothing you could take, right? So for me, those things, like literally, there are so many examples of what that is, right? On the aspect of money and all those other things. I have been in a position where like, you know what? I'm just going to trust in whatever this is and take the call. And then they're like, yeah, we had this come up. It looks like you owed this much, but now you owe this much. They were right the first time. We've written that part off. Can you handle this? Yes, thank you. And also, what if it was right the first time? Because I think it was. Doesn't matter. It's already in the system this way. How does that even happen? Not me. I still go back to that not me little cartoon, right? That kind of stuff all the time. The other costs, right? The fact that I never had a partner or spouse or whatever that was the right one to have children with, right? Seemed like the price that I was going to pay was, I don't ever get to be a mom or a grandma or somebody, whatever. There's no maternity, whatever for me, whatever. I have so many spiritual babies and grandbabies and great, like whatever. They're so, I get to be white hair. I get to be grandma and whatever to so many, and not just fur babies, but also fur babies. Seriously, though, like anything that seemed like an expense or something that I threw away or something that I didn't handle or manage or navigate when it was in my hands, relationships, friendship, it doesn't matter. All of those things. When I take the call of whatever it is that bill come due right here, right now, as it happens, uncomfortable as it is, addressing it, handling it, dealing with it in the moment that it occurs, it's automatically taken care of in ways that sincerely I never imagined possible. And the more I practice and build that spiritual muscle, the more that becomes just the way I behave. And now there is no outstanding anything. Although random ones will show up, I got a $25, sincerely, a $25 credit, something seeking from an old, like I had insurance that covered it. And it's like, I called them and you can't make this shit up. Literally ended up sponsoring somebody that answered the phone call because I was just me on the phone with them. Like I am the same, this crazy, this out loud, this all the time. How does that happen? Like literally.
Hey, Spearheads, if you're looking to dive deeper into the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous with people who live the solution, then you won't want to miss Rico 12 Big Book Roundtable. Join David G., Nikki M., and me, the moderator Justin B., 3 recovered addicts from multiple fellowships, as we break down the big book line by line. In each 30-minute episode, we share our experience, strength, and hope in a real, raw, and practical roundtable discussion. So, if you are ready to learn and apply what you learn, tune in to Rico 12 Big Book Roundtable on your favorite podcast platform. Yeah. How does that happen? That's crazy. And I love the literally. Liza, so over the years as I've got to know you and got to interact with you several times, I mean, you are intellectually sharp. You're a bright person. You are, I assume, pretty educated and things like that have happened in your life. But you said, and let me see if I got this, that knowledge is not power. You learned that knowledge is not power, that the more you know, the better you are. How did that feel, and how did you accept that when you came to the point that, you know what, as bright as I am, as much as I know, it has got me nowhere? How did you feel at that point?
This is one of those, like, I don't recommend trying the cancer diet to lose weight, right? What I'll tell you is me being stupid, and this, by the way, is me stupid. And thank you for that, because I like to say that I used to be extraordinary. Now I'm just ordinary, but awesome. Like I was gifted intellectually, right? Like everything for me was a big, like I was an emancipate. Like there's a lot. I started real young and I was just gifted a lot of things. So a brain tumor for me was the gift of the gateway into, hi, oh crap, I have no idea who I am because I just lost the thing that I absolutely identified myself by, which was my intellect and my ability to navigate systems and do all kinds of stuff that most people weren't able to do. And it just came naturally. I didn't have to work for that crap at all, man. Never. So for me, the gift of that was like, devastating, because I don't have that to rely on anymore in the ways that I used to. The fact that that's still kind of awesome enough and I can pull it off and look intelligent and like, thank you. Like really, it doesn't even matter anymore. The gift of not knowing anything is the simple of, if I'm in the state of self, I'm dead. I don't care what it is that's happening there or what I'm even looking at. I can't figure it out from that mind. So the practice is very simply, quit figuring it out. Quit thinking you need to know anything. Is what you know from your intellect, from that mind, or any of this meat suit shit, is it going to solve anything? No, it's just a diagnostic tool that says, hey, by the way, this is self-doing self shit. Then I'm like, oh, cool. What's the answer every time? The same it is every time. I don't know, but God does. How about I ask? Right? That's how less I know. I don't have to know anything because I can't trust what I think I know from there anyway. Chuck C and his new pair of glasses all freaking day. I don't know. I don't need to know. And I think for me, the space of that came from understanding the words, we cast those aside. Because what does that look like? Right? It's kind of like the difference between abandonment or surrender. In my head, surrender is like mamby pamby. Like, I don't want to, but okay, fine. And abandonment is like, ah, like I'm Leo and Kayla on the Titanic, like take it, crack my chest wide open, break my heart, like let it all fall out. Like I don't care. I'm done. Like I don't want it. It's going to kill me. That's the difference. Because what I think I know from here will kill me in a second. And sound really great doing it and use all kinds of program language a lot of the times, right? Like for real. So the simple part of that is like, I don't need to know any of that stuff. And when that part made sense in a way that's like, oh yeah, because even when I do know, here's what helped. I figured out some whys. If I could just know why this happened, blah, 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 right? If you've had any of that, I'm pretty sure there's at least one that we were able to dive into and swim in, especially former therapy and all kinds of other stuff. And I figured out a why. Woohoo! And did it change or solve anything? No, it actually made it way worse because now I feel like a bigger piece of shit because I know why and I still can't stop doing what I'm doing or change what I'm doing. So the gift of that experience was like, oh yeah, no, what I know doesn't mean anything at all. Like literally nothing. Let me ask and turn. And let God show me. Now I can make sense of that because I'm in that real me and not this facsimile or this imaginary thing.
Okay, so Liza, let's go into this a little bit. There are probably people in this room. I guarantee there are people in this room because I'm one of those people. And there are people that are listening who, when you said, well, I don't know, but I know who does know. So I'm going to ask and then I'll find out. So what about those of us who ask God as we understand God, and maybe sometimes we just don't know. We don't get that response. How do you deal with that? How do you know when you ask?
That's an awesome question. And I don't in the ways that you would think of it or that it would seem to imply from the way that that's stated, right? Because here's what I get to experience in that space. It's urgent for me to know. That's why I'm asking. I really, really, really want to know, right? If I could just know, God, would you tell me, right? I'm asking. I mean it. Here's the cool thing. When I tap into that power, right? That's the difference between the brain. I got to figure it out right now. Urgent. And the, okay, God, I'm back home. Whew. I'm connected. I'm tapped in. I got it. Because now means now, and I believe my book. So whatever it was that I thought I needed to know so desperately and urgently, when I'm in that connected state, hey, God, I always like to say, hey, God, what's up? I'm coming home. Help me see some stuff. What's here for me? What would you have me be? And I'm listening and waiting for the answer. Usually it comes, and a lot of times in ways I don't expect or that don't really make sense. But you know what it isn't? What I thought it was going to be from that same mind. So I'm already in that state of whoosh, right? And it's like when you work with somebody, or if you've been in a state of like, hi, this is me in the chaos and cacophony of up in the insanity of self, or the okay, God, I know you got me. Whew, right? Seemingly convincing. Now the book makes sense in different ways. Now I'm putting together the verbs that are the way I get to live. And I understand in that guts and bones soul knowing. Oh yeah, the timeline on that. Time doesn't belong to Liza. Clocks and calendars are God's domain. Infinite has no use of that stuff except for me. So when it seems really urgent, that's just a me thing from self. God's got me. I don't need to know right now. You know how I know? Because I don't know. God always lets me know what I need to know when I need to know it. That's the level of faith and trust I get to have because I keep practicing that.
So, Liza, the chaos and the cacophony are there. And I'm going to be straight out honest here. The way you go about things to me is chaotic and cacophony sounding. You know, it's like, whoa, what? I can't keep up. But you so quickly, it sounds like, are able to go from that what to what does that pause look like and that process look like for you so that you can get out of that?
The beautiful thing that you just described tells me what yours could be. Here's what that looks like. I can't. What is step one? I can't. How simple is that? Oh, wait a second. Is this me playing God somewhere? What does it mean? Anytime I'm in self, I'm playing God somewhere. Is it that simple? Yes. I can't. Oh, I just gave myself the answer. I can't. This is me navigating something from the brain that thinks it can fix it. It can't do that. Hey, God. Whatever that looks like as I build that relationship, which constantly changes and evolves and all the time, it's constantly ever changing, increasing in effectiveness and understanding, whatever that looks like in any given moment. So whatever that seemed urgent in that space, it really is just a matter of being present in the stillness of that enough. And I get that my still isn't real still. And that's okay. Yours gets to be yours. Oh God, I don't expect anybody to live this like I do, like at all. I really, really, really don't. I don't. But whatever yours is, that's the awesome thing because it's yours. And it'll be in a language that's just your intimate love language with you and God in your book. That's why that's where the answer always is. Especially when we're wide open enough to let the answer be whatever it is, knowing less about how it ought to show up. And more about, I don't even know how it's going to show up. I'm just waiting because, okay, it's a surprise party in here. What's up, God? And in the interim, when I don't know, then I'm okay not knowing because my level of faith and my willingness, just that sliver, says, okay, but I don't need to know. I'm willing to wait. I don't like it, but I'm willing. I know I'll get the answer when that infinite timing hits and it's the right time. And in the meantime, of course, there's a million other things that I could distract myself with or focus on or do differently. So that thing that seemed so urgent from that seemingly convincing place of either self, right, then gets to be like, oh yeah, but that's not a big deal. God's got me. Okay, on to the next, right? Next right thought, next right action. If all else fails, and we have all these fail safes in our book for a reason, right? If I've tried all these things and I'm still like, I'm trying, and it's still not working. If all else fails, we have each other. Help another.
Yeah, Liza, I love this. I love how you're bringing the big book into this so often. And the, in our book, the solution, the answer is there. The solution is there, and it's laid out simply and easily. You mentioned the ABCs of page 60. Why don't you take us through that? Give us a quick big book lesson on the ABCs of page 60. Hey, Rico 12 Spearheads. If our recovery resources have helped you, please consider a donation. Your financial support, as well as your word of mouth support, keeps Rico 12 running and reaching the man who is still sick. Donate today at rico12.com/support or check the show notes for PayPal and Venmo links. Every contribution helps carry the message. Thanks for being a Rico 12 Spearhead.
I'm like, oh my God, did you just let me have book time? Yeah. Okay, so here's my favorite thing. I say this on every page I know. On page 60, right? At the top, dude, it starts with step 12. It starts with step 12. Here's the magic of that. If you haven't been through all 12 steps and you haven't had that spiritual awakening, don't be trying to do this stuff from that place because it's not going to hit the same. But if you have, is at our door. Here's what it says. Having had a spiritual awakening, you'll know this is step 12. As the result of working these steps, that's a promise already. It means I've had an awakening. Doesn't mean there's only one, but it means I've had at least one. And it is the result of working these steps. We tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. I need that reminder of all because I will absolutely think I can manage and control and navigate some stuff that I absolutely cannot. So then it goes on to, I can't do this, right? Yeah, because I can't. Hi, it's the reminder. Oh yeah, I can't. God can. I'm going to let him. And then it says, when we hear people, a lot of times, I remember when I first read this and was like, oh my God, we've been hearing this like I get to be lazy. That's not what it means. No one among us has had been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. Yeah, no kidding. We are not saints. No kidding. The point is, we're willing to grow along spiritual lines. So that's that turn. That's how I make that turn. Wait a second. I don't need to know. I'm willing to grow along spiritual lines and see it differently. And I can't do that with these glasses. I have to have my God glasses on. God will show me. And then it says a reminder, hey, the principles that we've set down are guides to progress. And then we get to claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. So we're coming at the ABCs from that understanding. And now it says our description of Liza and the chapter to the agnostic, Liza, and our personal adventures, me too, before and after, in the place of the book, make clear 3 pertinent ideas. That we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. I can't. That I am one of these and must have these things. Yeah, okay. That probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. By the way, it says relieved. Like, how cool is that? Because we thought all the stuff we were seeking out there, right, was going to be a relief. And for a while it was, until it wasn't anymore, right? And even the stuff in these rooms when we have a wake up and then we like to stay asleep. Like, I can still use program stuff to hurt me and everybody else because I'm going to think I know some stuff in the same ways. And this is telling me I know human power. Where is my real reliance? If it's not on God, I'm in the wrong place. And then, ta-da, that God could and would if he were sought. So what is the reminder of that? If I'm struggling and suffering and fighting and all the other things that are that column 4 inventory space of self doing self stuff, if I'm in the bedevilments, if I'm in that stuff, right? What does that look like? If he were sought, oh, maybe I'm not even seeking. Am I seeking? Yeah, I am. I'm saying that I am, but I'm also ignoring this other thing over here that I had in my awareness that I absolutely am still ignoring. That's still something that blocks me. And I want to pretend I don't know that I'm blocked there because I'm doing so good over here still. Right? At least I'm sober. I'm not drinking. I'm not even eating like I used to. I'm still maintaining a great weight, right? Like, why are things not working out? Oh, this is that other stuff. This is that other stuff. When we get well, it's kind of confusing because stuff that we had buried deep inside starts to come out, right? And the more that I keep burying that, it's easier to keep it buried because there's more going on top of it and it just gets more and more deep in there, right? The grossness of that. The more I live this, the more that comes up a lot. And it seems like that shouldn't be happening because I'm doing all the right things and being a good girl. And how come this is painful? But the reality of that is that's the gift of waking up too. Now I get to see all this other stuff I shoved in there that now I'm not putting other stuff on top of it gets to come out. And all I have to do is just allow it to and go through that moment of discomfort and let God show me what the gift of that gift was of a lesson too, instead of running from it or avoiding it or distracting, because it's uncomfortable. And my entire life to this wake up moment was me running from discomfort. So am I seeking? And then we get to go to being convinced. Oh, those 2 words. Liza, are you really convinced? Like, no, I don't want to be. But yeah, I am convinced at this point. I'm already looking and I can see it. Thank you, God. Okay, help me get the rest of the way because I can't cross that threshold of discomfort by myself. In this self, I can't. I have to have God's help. And now I'm actually able to see it and seek it. Does that answer it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a great answer. And I'm grateful you took us through that whole page up to that point of, diving in and teaching that. That helps me so that I can teach that better to my next sponsee. All right. We have a question from the audience. This is from Michael. So, Liza, when was your last relapse or slip and how did you handle it?
Ooh, I love this one. So classic stuff, right? The reality is that there is no day that I have experienced in my human adventure of a lifetime roller coaster ride of a life in the surprise parties that I get to have all day, every day, where I haven't had a relapse of emotional sobriety, 100%, right? Every day, all day, every day, because the insanity of all this is insane. What I do in those moments and what a relapse looks like changes as I do. I can tell you, I haven't had a drink I've been sober more years and more years alive sober than I ever was when I stopped drinking. And food-wise, 2018 was the end of that for me. So like legit, there's all kinds of substances that have been lifted and removed and still the underlying this of it and the needing to know and the what I would call the naughty spaces, right? That's my coda, my Al-Anon, my whatever, all the other stuff. They did that to me rooms, all of those spaces, right? ACA, all the stuff. I eat all the alphabet soup, y'all. And that stuff, it's never ending because I'm still alive, right? Every single day that I'm alive is going to be a day that I'm a messy human that will absolutely be a shit show messy human, 100%. How far that goes and what damage is done from there depends on how awake and spiritually committed I am to this way of life. If my practice is such that I truly am living in the 80s where we have to live this, that's where my verbs are powered from. Do I lose my mind and absolutely say stuff off the handle every once in a while or whatever? Of course I do. Do I have a 10 or have to run inventory? Of course I do. Right? So there's never a day off from that. There is no like sobriety date that counts as like, and I will never again think like a human and be in self. Like, no, I'm going to do that all the time. 20 times in the last 10 minutes. Really? Like, come on. Like that, those are the clocks and calendar things that like, yeah, that's not what this is about. That's why it's not a one and done. Especially when we get to the end. Here's one of the things I love to point out. Most people, when they come from a substance into the nani spaces, like we get it because we understand what it's like from a substance. The reality is the reason this book works for all of us is because everybody that comes from a substance lands where everybody that's in the nani world starts. They're the OG addicts for real, because they come at this stuff sober as a judge. They don't feast on anything but the chemicals their own bodies are making at that point, running on fear, running on fantasy, running on whatever. They're just as deadly, more so. How many people do we know that have died sober in these places? It's not about the substance. So the day off, the idea that I don't have to worry about, and I'll say that differently, right? Because I don't worry, but that I don't have to consider who's in charge or who's driving the car. Like if it's reckless driving, it is straight up me behind the wheel 1,000%, right? But even that is the gift of like, oh shit, I'm driving again. Hey God, what's up? Bleh. Right? I was out there thinking I could do some stuff, bleh. Right? Like, nope, I don't know what's happening. God's going to show me. Here we go. I hope that answered it, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Liza. And Michael did say great answer, and he loved that. And it gives him, let's see, what did he say? I'm always breaking my emotional sobriety on a daily basis, and that reminds me to use my spiritual tools in my spiritual toolbox. So I think that was a great answer there. Now, Liza, I want to stay there on that answer for just a minute. A lot of people that I work with in recovery, like go into this, they call it a shame spiral, a shame cycle of, man, I just am not perfect. I'm not ever going to get emotionally sober, and I have to get there to that place. How do you have peace when you recognize just now, you're like, I'll never get there, but I have peace with it? How do you get that peace?
Oh, I love that. And I love you. Thank you. Two things. The entire chapter, I know a lot of people refer to pages. Legit, read the entire chapter about acceptance in the later stories. Paul O is phenomenal, and that speaks to the way we get to live. And it actually references a lot of things that are earlier in the book, but in a concise way together through the story of he and his wife and various things. It's a great reminder of that level of what's real and true. One of the things that I love that truly for me was a wake-up moment in a million ways, again, back in the workbook, on page 18, there is this beautiful first line on the column 4 side of things, right? False pride, arrogance, and self-loathing. And it hit me one day. What? Here's how awesome that is. False pride. Like, yeah, I know what that is. Arrogance. I definitely know what that is. And self-loathing. Yep. Okay. Here's the thing I got to see. Same exact thing, just different sides of the same thing. You know how I know? Because the solution to them, when God's in charge, is the same answer. The reality is, all of those things are just me straight up arrogant as hell thinking I know better than God. I didn't make me. God made me. I'm not in charge of things. God is. Who am I to say in any way that I know how I ought to respond or react or feel or think about me based on something that I did or didn't do properly at some given time where I was operating in self? Can self do anything differently? No. Then how exactly was self going to show up differently? It can't. That is finite, messy me in this human adventure. Without God, there's no version of me. If I know that self-reliance will fail me every time, it will. Spoiler alert. Right? That me and self-will will hardly be a success. Why on earth would I hold some imaginary belief, fancied or real, that I should have, would have, could have? I was in self. I am not that being. I am this real, deep, guts and bones with God. That's the real me. Did that version of me do these things? No. So what is there for me, the real me, to lament there? The other thing I go to for that is also perhaps it was remorse and we were sore at ourselves. Same thing. What could you have done differently? If I can look at those people, like the book says, and know that they were a sick person and did the best they could, why am I playing God pretending that I should have, would have, could have differently? That's still me playing God, dude. I suck at that job. There's a reason I don't have it. Does that answer it or make sense? Like for me, it was just beautiful because I'm like, I can throw off arrogance like nothing because I hate the way that looks and feels like, ew, I don't want you to see me that way. I don't want to be that way. Ugh. But oh my God, I'll pick up self-loathing like it's the greatest thing. Like, dude, it's the same level of selfishness and self-centeredness 1,000 times.
Mm. It's cloaked in what I think is humility, but it's self-centeredness, self-loathing, and all that stuff. And it's not helpful. I appreciate you going through that. And
Like
to
this
those out there, and oh, go ahead.
of things, right? Like I used to always laugh because like people could, disparage fat people because, and I'd be like, oh, you get to make fun of me because I'm fat or whatever, but it's like socially acceptable. It's the social acceptable version of being selfish to hate me. I'll hate me more than you can hate me. See? Don't you love me now? Like, oh my God, I'm insane in there.
Love it. Thank you, Liza. And to those out there, they're like, what's this acceptance chapter she's talking about? It's from pages 407 to 420 of the big book, if you aren't aware of that. So you can go read that chapter. It's fantastic. I really recommend it. So, all right, Liza, I'll do one more question here before we start wrapping up. And I'd like to hear this, and I think this is something that you kind of touched on, but, sometimes when somebody says, I've already surrendered that 10 times today, I'm done. I've already done it. It's not working. There's frustration with turning and going back again and again and again and always turning one more time. Talk to us about why it's so important to keep doing it at least one more time every time.
Oh yeah, that's true. And there are so many pieces to that. There are a couple things. So if all the verbs in my life are God run, right? If I'm operating on the God battery and not the finite Liza thing, part of that means I'm looking literally at the actions that I'm taking. So, for example, one of the things I love to talk to people about is what their soul songs are, right? You have special gifts, like Liam Neeson level gifts, right? That are yours, that God gave you. You were born with them. And when you tap into them, sober or not, doesn't matter. There's a space of you that lights up when you are in those soul song spaces, whatever it is, right? For some people, it's dance or sports or whatever. For most of us, there's a physical component to it. But in any case, there's always a verb in it. Whatever the verbs are of that, find those and use those verbs in your turn and ask. It makes a difference because movement, thus action, thus verbs, is paramount for us. It changes things. That's why, by the way, every single time I say that word, I still physically turn because it's part of that programming for me when I came to this understanding. And I'm like, oh, simple, turn, right? It's not about the action, but tapping into that with the memory, right? The spiritual muscle memory of what that requires. When it says prayer and meditation, we sought through prayer and meditation. I don't care what your version of prayer asking or meditation listening is. It's that you sought it, right? What is your seeking? Not what are you seeking? I still can't understand or define what that is. Page 46 told me I didn't have to. I got done trying. Ugh, so much better. I don't know. Don't need to know. It works anyway. Who cares? Let's go. Right? What is your version of that movement? How are you seeking? Because my book says, when we seek earnestly, we always will find. So that's the thing, not the turning again and again. Quit turning how you're turning. It's not working. Drive a different route. Stop driving. Let the driver drive. You be in the passenger seat and enjoy the ride, right? That's where I know I am when I'm awake and aware. So it's the comparison and the practice of who am I when I'm connected and who am I when I'm not? Because the sensory system is telling me that. And I want the relief from that misery. And I'm so focused on that I forget that I'm actually seeking in the turn. It doesn't become about the verb of the do of that. It becomes about the verb of the be of that, which means usually there's an underlying fear. Because remember, when we ask about fear, it's a really beautiful, simple question. What would you have me be? That means Liza has to shut the hell up and listen for the answer. And again, for me, because I'm simple, it's almost always a one-word something like present, patient, here, open, willing. Oh, yeah, okay. My bad. Thanks, guys. I see what you did there, right? It's that. It's not about the impossibility of finding and how hard we try, because that's not the scoring system here. God never leaves, y'all. God never leaves. Everything I've done in every version of seeking all that stuff out there to come in here and make things better for me in here. Please, God, please. Oh my God, so desperate. Like I wanted to die. It was awful. And now I understand differently by not understanding anything and asking every time, oh, you never leave. That guts and bones stuff is always here. I don't have to go home. I have a home. I am at home always. Where am I seeking? How am I seeking? What am I even looking for? I already have it. I just forgot. I get to remember who I really am, not here in the mind, in that guts and bones soul belly, knowing I know who I am. I know what love is, not because I can do it, but because God has done it my whole life. That's how I'm even here. Oh, yeah. Thanks, God.
And thank you, Liza. Thank you so much. What a great message, energetic and clear. And I just really appreciate you being here and being the final speaker on a Friday Rico 12. How cool is that? Thank you so much. All right. So now we're going to wrap up this meeting here over the next couple of minutes. If we missed your question, if you have any other questions that you'd like to ask Liza, her number is here on her picture here. And if anybody in the listening audience wants to get in contact with Liza, please email me at rico12pod@gmail.com and I can get you connected to Liza. And if you haven't already done so, please consider going and rating and reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Even if you don't listen to it on the podcast and you're usually here live, jump on there and just say 5 stars or 2 stars. I don't care what you say. Just rate it, review it, and we'll see where we go from there. Come back next Saturday, everybody. Next Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. UK time as we launch into the next phase of Rico 12. As I've seen this potential change on the horizon, I haven't filled next week's speaker slot yet because I knew something was going to change. So I didn't want to give somebody a scheduled thing and then let them know, hey, just kidding, it changed. So if you or someone you know who has not been available on a Friday but can on this coming Saturday would like to speak, please send me an email, rico12pod@gmail.com. Hit me up in the WhatsApp group. We'll get you lined up. All right, Liza, why don't you close us out with this prayer that I'm going to put in the chat that you sent over and get us launched off into the rest of our week.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. Please, you guys, don't forget to contribute to Rico 12. Man, this fellowship is phenomenal. I'm so glad you guys are here. So I was talking about the step 3 prayer because I love it. It's my jam. I love the phrasing of it in the book. It's freaking phenomenal. But I came up with this distilled version because I'm like, oh yeah, it's also really super simple. So it's get me out of the me I think I am and into the real me that I get to know I am with you, God, for them. Ta-da.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, everybody, there's one who has all power. That one is God. And that is not me. May you find God now. Keep coming back, and when you do, come all the way in, sit all the way down. Let's trudge this road of happy destiny together. Work it. You are worth it.
There was a man put his hand by the side of his mouth, and he wanted to scream, but the sound never came out. So he reached for the bottle to wash the pain away, 'cause what he wanted so badly was to live a different way. And all of his problems and all of his pain filled up the bottle, rose with the rain. His ship kept on sinking to the bottom of the lake, and he knew for certain that he was just a fake. Just a fate. Was a man put his hand by the side of his mouth, and he wanted to share, but only lies ever came out.